At InDigital, we know the public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI Net goes beyond industry standards, not only I3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
August 24th, 2016, the I Am 911 movement is born. One of my personal stories set the tone for this movement. What started out as a way to raise awareness for the reclassification issue for dispatchers quickly turned into peer support. 911 professionals from all over the world were sharing their stories. On Facebook alone, at that time, the engagements were over 34 million. It spawned a peer support session at conferences called Imagine Listening, where dispatchers shared their stories out loud or on paper. For years, I have been asked if this would ever become a book, coming June 2023, and available now for pre-order on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. From Titletown Publishing, Imagine Listening, Your Worst Day is Our Everyday. If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Welcome to Within the Trenches, true stories from the 911 dispatchers who live them.
Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and this is going to be episode 499 of Within the Trenches, True Stories from the 911 Dispatchers Who Live Them. And yep, you heard that right. Episode 499. Whew. Man, got episode 500 coming up, and that one is going to be epic. I am fresh back from the National NINA Conference, and this episode is actually going to be a little different. This episode is going to be actually a live open mic broadcast that I did a few weeks ago. The reason that I'm filling this one in as an episode is because it was just that damn good. With Open Mic Live, what we do is we check in with each other. So every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on social media, I go live, and the audience comes on. We share funny 911 stories, sometimes personal stories, and we check in with each other. Life is hard, and sometimes we walk around with a smile that is not always real. So we check in with each other, and on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being crappy and 10 being awesome, how are you doing? And that's what we do. We check in. We see what everyone's numbers are in the beginning. We go through the episode, and hopefully those numbers have gone up. And even if they haven't gone up, if they stayed the same, it's okay, because that's why we're there. Laughing is good medicine. But this specific episode, there was a question that was asked in the beginning, and there were many stories and other things that were shared. The funny stuff is actually towards the end of the episode. So we actually start out with some tougher calls, stories. And they're not downers or anything. It's actually more so tips on how to deal with some of these calls. And those, for those who are listening that are, from the general public, this is something for you to learn from as well. or anyone who's thinking about getting into public safety or the 911 profession, these are good things for you to hear, things to learn from, things for you to feel that you are not alone. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. This is a really good one. I would not be posting this as an episode of the podcast if it was not something that I didn't think you would take from it. So I hope you enjoy this, and a big shout out really quick to everyone who attended my Imagine listening session at National Nina, and as well came to my booth, and also my book signing while I was over at the Indigital booth for the Imagine Listening book, and so many good things and more so to come. So without further ado, here is episode 499 of Within the Trenches, True Stories from the 911 Dispatchers Who Lived Them. And shout out to subscribers of the podcast and Indigital, who is our sponsor, and they are a leader in next-gen core services.
Yo, what is going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get started here with Open Mic Live. This live broadcast is sponsored by Indigital, a leader next-gen core services. And big shout out, as always, to patrons of the podcast, as well as subscribers on Facebook. Thank you for everything. I wouldn't be able to do what I do if it wasn't for all of you, but especially all of you that are here now, watching, listening, supporting, sharing, all of that good stuff. So please make sure to throw in some reactions, some likes, share the broadcast to get some more people in here, share some stories. We're going to get into some shit. And it looks like everybody's coming in at a low number. So I'm in good company then. I'm coming in for the first time in a long time at a 0. Why? Because people suck. That's the short and easy answer, is that people suck. And I'm hoping that we can all get our numbers up. Over here, we got James jumping in here, South Jersey at a 4 right now. Lavelle, Texas on at a 5. That is definitely better than myself and James. Kim, hey, how's it going? Welcome, Sabrina. Out of Kansas. Now, is that a -5 or is that a 5? Either way, it looks like everybody is coming in at a low number. And then over here on TikTok, you as well. What are your numbers at? What are you coming in at? Let's share it up. Oh, a 6. Okay, good. That's the highest number. Awesome. That is good. You're in at a 6. Oops, 5. Oh, a 5. Okay. Either way, it's better than a lot of other people right now, especially myself. Again, I'm coming in at a 0, so I'm hoping that we going through all of this, which I always love being here with all of you. We can get these numbers up, because that's one of the things about Open Mic Live is we check in with each other, and usually Zach hitting at a 4. Damn. All right. Let's see again if we can get all of our numbers up by the end of this broadcast. So got a lot of stuff going on as usual, and looking over here at my notes. So we had episode 496 go out, and that is an excellent episode. Please make sure to check that one out. That was with Kate Burgeon, and she is a paramedic, an artist, excellent artist, as well as upcoming author and a mom extraordinaire. She has an excellent project that she's doing, and it is called the Modern Day Rosies. So if you check that out, and let's see, number 2. Okay, you're at a 2. All right. So again, let's see if we can get our numbers up there. And I'm all about it. Like I said, let's share some stories and stuff. I've got some other stories that I'm going to be sharing here. As I was saying in the beginning, so usually I do this on Saturdays. And I do this at 9 p.m. at night. Today, I'm doing it on Thursday. Originally, it was Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I cut it down to Thursday because Tuesdays and Thursdays, it was just it was just crazy. And because it was a lot. It was a lot going into it, trying to do it twice a week. So changed it to Thursdays, and then every so often I was doing it on Saturdays if I was traveling and such. And so I'm doing it on Thursday because I'm going to be traveling on Saturday. I'm going to be going to Michigan. I have actually a couple relatives that are not doing that well, and my mom is out there with them, and so I'm going to be going over there, and I wouldn't be able to do this on Saturday, so I wanted to do it today on Thursday. Let's see. Hold on, really quick here. Zach says, so before we get into it, how do you best deal when you lose one very young? Kid calls hit the most. Oh, oh man. So yeah, let's jump into that. So I remember a few calls where where I had lost. I had taken some calls where, there were little kids or even infants that I lost over 911, and those were definitely hard ones, right? Um I would have, my supervisor would ask me if I was okay, and of course I would always say, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine." Which of course was not true. The only thing that really helped me, and I'll use the infant call for example. Um, what helped me through that was the fact that EMS called up, and they had asked. They asked who was the person who took the 911 call for this infant CPR call, and they put them on hold, and they told me that EMS was calling up for their run numbers and times, but that they they wanted to talk to me. So I got on the phone with them, and I'll be honest, I was fucked up. It really messed me up, and it's actually one of my I am 911 stories. What helped out with that was them telling me that I did a good job. But not just that I did a good job, but that when they arrived, that they were, and I remember the words vividly, that when they arrived, they were doing textbook CPR, and that there was nothing else that I could do, that I had done everything possible to help them. Obviously, it wasn't enough. However, knowing that I had done everything, that helped a lot. And then I remember when I got home, I remember I remember grabbing a hold of my son, who's now 19. At the time, I think he was maybe 4, 4.5, 5, something like that. And I remember going home and just squeezing him, but squeezing him to the point where um he ended up wincing a little bit. I laugh about it now, of course, but that helped. What also helped was that the sergeant who went out there and worked that call came into dispatch and sat down with me and asked what I wanted to know. And I told him basically everything. Like, can you tell me what happened? because there was something that was kind of suspicious about it, and he ended up clearing it up for me, but I will always be grateful. I will always be grateful for closure. So, Zach, if you're able to, ask them. Because that closure will help. That's something that we don't always get, right? And luckily for that call, I got it. Don't get me wrong, though. Don't get it twisted. There were many calls before that where I had never received or was able to get that closure, and that was hard because a lot of those I was bearing, I was holding it in. You're welcome, man. I'm serious though. See what you can find out about it, or at least to know, that you did everything that you could, because that's really important. That's something that plagues us, I think, because a lot of times when we take these calls, we want to know that, because a lot of times we blame ourselves. I know I did. Could I have done something different? Could I have used a different line of questioning? And if I had, would that have helped? And the main thing is we need to, we have to let go of perfectionism. We need to let go of that wanting to be perfect all the time and remember that we're fucking human. So if you can, man, do that. Because it's important to know that we did everything we could. I hope that all made sense. Whew. See, James over here says, that's it, the knowledge of doing it right. Coming from the field units, I've appreciated those calls as well. Yes, definitely. And over here on TikTok too, if you ever have a call like that, don't ever feel like, and this is not just TikTok, but this is everybody. Don't ever feel like you're going to be stupid for asking what happened, because it's important to us. And I think the awesome thing about those out in the field, or those out in the general public, or whichever, who now know more about dispatch, what you do and how it impacts you, they'll be more than willing to tell you, to give you that closure, because we're not there like everyone else. We're here. And that can be detrimental. So let me look over here in the comments. I'm thankful that our EMS, fire, and LEO are figuring out the dispatchers need some closure, and they are making a very hard effort to come talk to us after tough calls and checking on us. Hey, Kimmy, how are you doing? Big hugs. Thank you. I could definitely use one, that's for sure, coming in at a 0. But my number's already going up. And Kim here, I had lost my daughter in 2017 from cystic fibrosis, and within 2 months after her passing, I took a 911 CPR call on a child. Come to find out, the child also had cystic fibrosis, so it hit very hard with me. I'm sorry for your loss. I can't imagine how hard that was. But and this might sound weird, but hear me out. Sometimes it's like some of these calls that come in are meant for us. Not because it's going to affect us in a certain way or impact us or it's going to be super hard for us. What I mean by that, and again, hear me out, what I mean by that is we have that experience that a partner of ours might not have. So, Kim, what I'm saying is because you had some of that experience with that illness, you were probably able to speak to that person better than I ever could because I don't have that experience. And like for me, for instance, I took a 911 call where a lady, and I've told this story before, but for those who might not have ever heard it, there was this lady who called in who wanted to kill herself. And Rob, what's up, man? I feel the same way. And actually, this story has to do with you in a way. Holy shit. So I had a guy that I worked with who's right there in the audience, Rob. And the way he would talk to callers who were suicidal was the epitome of being human. Asking questions like what are the things that you like? What are you into? Music, movies, whichever. And you start to relate with the person until help gets there because you want to keep their mind off of what it is that they originally called about, right? And when this call came in, my good buddy Rob had already moved on from dispatch, which sucked, dude, because we had a lot of fun together. But this lady called in because she was suicidal, and she'd been dealing with a lot of neck pain, shoulder pain, and back pain. And she didn't know what to do anymore. Like the pain was that bad that she didn't want to live. Now, what this lady didn't know until I told her was that months before that, I myself was dealing with excruciating neck pain and back pain. The doctors didn't know what was wrong with me. They didn't know what to do, except for sending me to physical therapy. And it would help for the time that I was there, and then it would come right back. Pain shooting up into my temples, into my eyeball, to where I didn't know what to do myself. One thing I ended up doing, which might sound stupid to people, but it helped. I tried yoga. I was always afraid that I was going to be, I don't know, made fun of or whatever for it. Or, if I did a pose wrong, I'd be like, why am I doing this? Well, I stopped giving a shit about what other people would think. And I did it. I did it for about 45 minutes. My first time doing yoga, and damn it, did it hurt, but damn it, did it feel good. And after that one session, the pain went away. So fast forward to this phone call. And I got my buddy Rob in my head as I'm taking this call. Let's be human, like we always do. So I started telling her about the issue that I was having, and she was listening. And I was telling her about yoga, which I never thought I would do. And this is also why I say I feel like some phone calls are meant for us. But I'm telling her about all of this, and help arrives. And she said, thank you. She said that she didn't want to kill herself anymore because she now had hope that there was another path. And for all I know, and I say this every time because I always think it, but for all I know, this lady could be a yoga instructor somewhere. Sharing her story. But believe me when I say that every time I practice yoga, I think of that person. Because we're connected in that way. It's crazy how you stay connected with certain people. You remember them. You're complete strangers. But as humans, we have that connection, man. It's an amazing thing. So thank you, Rob. I appreciate it. See, going back up here into the comments. See, James says, first year of my career, a young boy had fallen off a riding lawnmower with his mother driving. She partially ran him over, and now I can't stand seeing kids riding with a parent on a riding mower. The boy had to be flown to the trauma center, and he survived. Oh, I'm glad he survived. But I know what you mean. There's a lot of calls that we take, right, where when we see others going towards whatever it is, that might possibly be something that we had taken, we jump in, right away. It's in our nature. It's hard to turn it off. It's like once a first responder, always a first responder, man. It's like that dispatch year. Next month, on the 22nd, which is my dad's birthday, will be my 10-year anniversary of being out of dispatch. But this shit doesn't turn off, man. Let's see, Lavelle here says, I took one last week, 6-month-old drowned in the bathtub. Dad was responsible. This really hit me. See, that's another one right there. Zach says, almost the same age. My partner's call was a 7-month-old that had stopped breathing at 3 a.m. And as a 2-person team, the call hit both of us. Just hit me harder. So Kimmy says, think about what you just said. You did yoga and the pain went away. I think after this live is over with you, you have a plan. Yoga. Yes. I think you're right. Oh, definitely. And Kim says, being at a 0 is okay. It's healthy. We have to hit our zeros to appreciate our tens. Oh, that is a good quote right there. I love that. Being at a 0 is okay. It's healthy. We have to hit our zeros to appreciate our tens. Damn, that's a good one. Thank you. James says, I agree with you, Ricardo. I've witnessed it myself. A call comes in and the operator had recently experienced a similar situation, and they were the one person in the room who could naturally connect with the caller. Callers can smell out the BS. Doug says, suicidal calls are tough. Even after doing as much as you can for the person, you always wonder if it was enough. Yeah, definitely. Kristen says, I remember taking a call with kids trapped in a burning house and begged their mom to get something to smash out the windows, and she couldn't because there were bars on the windows. I wondered what else I could have suggested or said. They didn't make it. The fire department on scene contacted me to ask me if I wanted to join the debrief. I didn't feel like I had earned that because I wasn't there. To anyone else reading this, don't ever think you don't belong. We are first responders. Kristen, what does the rest of it say? There's like a character limit on my side that I can see, and it stops right after we are first responders. Can you copy the rest of it and paste it, please? And then Sabrina over here says, taking calls from kids, I always flash back to the 7-year-old boy that I talked to for 45 minutes after his mom and our boyfriend were killed in front of him. Talking to the kids for me is different after that one call. Thank you all for sharing. Like, this is awesome. This is really good. I know that with open mic, we're usually sharing funny stories and stuff, but damn it, sometimes we just need to talk. And that's what we're doing right now. Joyce, yeah, very deep stuff. I'm for it. I'm here for it. This is good. Because I don't know if you remember. So open mic, I've been doing it at conferences since 2017. Open mic live, I started during the pandemic and all the protests. It was a Sunday night, about 11:30 p.m. And I had been seeing all kinds of craziness on social media. People were hurt. And I thought, maybe go live and just talk, share funny stories to lighten everything that was going on. It was a scary time. And we did it, and we've been doing it ever since. And it has been amazing. Zach says, didn't mean to start the episode this way. No, man. This is good. This is a good reminder. Because Open Mic Live, ever since the beginning of this live portion, has been to check in with each other, to share stories, whether they're funny or not, or just the way we're doing right now, simply talking and relating with each other and sharing. We're in this together. I mean, we only have each other. Now, there's some people, right, that have family members that are in public safety that they can talk to, but this is just as good. So we come from the same place. And I love doing this. So thank you. This is good. See, James says, talking about it gets the bugs out like the guy in the Green Mile after he helps someone. Yes, exactly. Kristen says, I wish I had gone to that. It took me a long time to work through that. I think there's much more of an awareness of the need for debriefs now than there was 16 years ago when I started. Also, people are realizing that it's important to be active when you can, to eat healthy so that you get enough sleep. All can help with stress of what we carry sometimes. And that's true. That's very true. Because a lot of times, we don't, that's a part that we don't really think about, right? We're in there for hours and hours and we're just piling on the bullshit. Not that the bullshit every so often isn't okay, but everything in moderation. That doesn't always happen. But I'm glad there are resources. I'm glad there are people out there who are working to help all of us. But that's what we're all doing here right now as well. Let's see. Kimmy says, we are humans too. Sometimes we tend to think that we're robots, but in reality, we're humans with the biggest hearts. Yes. Kim Minnick says, Ricardo, the CF child CPR call, the child didn't make it. I have the same terminal illness, so each call is different for me. I can't even imagine, but I thank you for the job that you do, for being in this profession, and for sharing. All of you. Zach says, my friend request button is open to all in this group, Dispatch's family. I love that. James, I started walking and jumped back on my bicycle to ride it out. That is good. Joy says, 8 hours sleep seems extravagant after many 16-hour shifts. I don't even know what 8 hours is. Like I said, I'm going to be out of dispatch for 10 years now. And my sleep schedule is still jacked. It is still messed up, man. It's 4.5, 5 hours of sleep is usually what I get. Anything beyond that, I feel like hell. I don't know why. I feel like hell. Zach says, right, it is 9:30 p.m. here, and I'm back in at 2 a.m. Oh, man, dude. Well, I hope you have a good shift for when you go back in. Oh, man. Kimmy says, also, everyone keep in mind you do have mental health days. Take them. There should be no questions asked by your agency. If they deny it, in all caps, run, and then to HR. I'm glad that stuff is around now. But then again, honestly, I don't know if we had like any mental health days that we could just take. I mean, we had PTO, of course, and then we had our comp time if we had it in our bank. But and if that is considered like mental health time, man, I should have taken advantage of it a lot more. Oh, geez. Yes. All of it. So I want to show all of you something as we're talking about some of these harder stories. This is something that I shared to subscribers of the podcast already. But I want to show you as well. And for those over here on TikTok, I'm going to turn the camera around so that you can see it. But let me pull it up here really quick, because I have been seriously dying to show you all of this. Kim says, y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you, Ricardo. I have a shift at 4:30 a.m. Thank you for being here and for what you do. Again, have a good night, have a good rest, and have a good shift in the morning. Have a good one. All right, so here it is. I'm going to switch the camera around here for TikTok. All right, so this is the final book cover and back cover of Imagine Listening. Your worst day is our everyday. And I am super, super excited. It drops in just a few weeks. Just a few weeks. June 20th, 2023, this book drops. It's 142 pages worth of stories that were submitted for the I Am 911 movement. And this is merely the first book in a series of books that is going to be coming out with the stories that were submitted in. And I seriously, I can't thank you all enough, because if it wasn't for you, for the job that you do, for your courage and your just willingness to share this book and what I do, the I Am 911 movement, all of it wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you. Again, this drops on the 20th of this month. I'm going to switch the camera back here on TikTok really quick. There we go. Whew. So the book has been going nuts, like nuts in the sense that it has been selling really well. Pre-orders have hit, at the time that I mentioned it, 532, which is awesome. And it has been number one, a bestseller already, even in pre-order for off of Amazon. And I'm trying to hit, I'm hoping that we can get 1,000 pre-orders by June 20th. Got 19 days. It would be amazing to do it. Pre-orders can be done by going to links.co/WTT podcast. And that's links with 2 I's, .co/WTT podcast. You can pre-order off of Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. Let me tell you, there are also going to be books at the National Nina Conference. I am going to be in booth 106, booth 106 at the National Nina Conference in a few weeks. And I will have books there for people to purchase, as well as for me to sign if that's something that you're looking for. So I'll be there. If you're going to be there, I'll see you there. Come to booth 106 and we'll get this going. I should be receiving my advance copy here pretty soon. But let me tell you, this has been a long time coming. Since the launch in 2016 of the I Am 911 movement, people have been asking if this would ever turn into a book, and I had been holding out and holding out and holding out. And only because it just hadn't felt right at the time. It hadn't felt right yet. But then I met Tracy Ertl through my good friend Joe Serio. And we talked for almost 2 hours. But right from the moment that we were talking, it felt right. And I knew it was time. And here we are. It has been pushed. Tracy has her own independent publishing company that also operates like one of the big ones. I love working with her. She's also the head of Hero Light training for dispatchers, all kinds of topics. So if you ever are looking for some amazing training, Tracy Ertl is where to go. But also, Joe Serio does some good stuff as well, man. Both of them. Awesome. But seriously, Tracy Ertl, Hero Light Training. Make sure to check out what she's got going on. She's an amazing person, a dear friend. And then also myself, I'm going to be launching it at the National Nina Conference, but I too will be offering training. They're basically the sessions that I've done at conferences, but broken down into a 4-hour or 8-hour. And Imagine Listening will be part of one of those classes that I'll be doing. So look out for that as well. But again, I just wanted to say that, or show you all, this is the book cover, the final book cover, the back cover, the spine, just all of it. And I'm super excited. Again, it wouldn't be anything without all of you. So thank you. Let's blow this out of the water. People have been learning about what you do for years now. Things have changed, and it's about to change even more. And people are going to learn so much more. So again, thank you. That call, the one there on the back of the book, seriously, that one gets me every time. I want to go back over here really quick just before I read this. See, Kristen says, years I have been waiting, and how exciting that such a wonderful person is the one that is publishing this. I met Tracy years ago at a training, and she has inspired me so much. And having you both work together to get this published is awesome. I agree. Fully agree. Joyce says, need donations to send to our congressmen and states legislatures for first responder status. I'm guessing the FR, right? For those that aren't recognized yet. Yes. Okay. Yes. And then, let's see, Kim says Texas has offered them for several years now. You're talking about the mental health days. And Zach says, all right, my friends, I'm going to sleep some before shift. I'll go back and listen to the rest tomorrow of this episode. Have a good rest, my friend. Let's see. Kimmy says, the only book I have read in years is Facebook. That's funny. I'm so excited to read your book. I am excited for all of you to read it as well. The foreword, a good friend of mine did it. And just like the acknowledgments and a lot of other things that I have in there. But the majority, the meat of it are these stories. And let me tell you, I locked myself in this room for 4 days straight, working nonstop to redo everything. And what I mean by that is a lot of the images that were sent in originally, like all the stories are the same. All of them are the same. They will always be the same, and they remain anonymous. But some of the images that were used originally were taken from like Google Images, and some of those have copyrights on them, which means I wouldn't be able to publish them in a book like this. So I went in, found royalty-free images, and redid all of them. 142 pages worth. I did. But also, I was doing so many of them, I'm probably a third way through the second volume. You heard that here first. I had not mentioned that to anybody. But and don't jump further. Like I don't know when that one is going to come out. I'm just saying that's how ahead I am. Joyce says, "Wait, are you getting therapy for all that?" Let me tell you something, Joyce. Halfway like 2 days in, I was so fried. I was sitting up here in the dark because some of these stories were so hard and so deep, but so powerful. It kind of took a hold of me a little bit. So I did yoga. I did meditation. I did my breathing techniques and I was able to get it out and I was good. But thank you for checking on me. I don't have a lot of people to check on me. So thank you. I appreciate that. So I want to is there a trigger warning on the front page? Yes, there is. There is definitely a trigger warning. That was one of the first things I put up there. The cover of this book, the reason that these are some of those written ones that came in, one, it makes it that much more powerful and personal. But um there was one day that I showed my brother this picture and he goes, "Dude, you if you ever turn this into a book, man, that should be the cover. That should be part of the cover." And I thought, "Man, no, you're right. That would be awesome to do." So that's why the cover has some of the written stories on there from the Imagine Listening sessions that I've done in person at conferences. But also the audio version, that is going to be something as well. I can't tell you everything about it, but it's going to be something. But on the back side, I'll read the story. And it says, "I had to listen to your last words over and over again to find the information that would lead us to your killer. You were one of my officers that night, and a part of me died with you. P.S. We found him." That one, that one gets me every time. And I think it's because of that P.S. Because if you don't know these I Am 911 stories, the reason they are written the way they are is because to me, it was another line of communication. For example, that first story that I put out there, I'm never going to meet those people. However, if they ever read it, I was the person. I listened. I took your call. It's like a form of communication of me reaching out to them saying, "You were not alone. I was there with you. I remember you. You stick with me." That's why these are written this way. That's why this story, that P.S. we found him, it's this dispatcher letting their officer know that they found him, that they found the suspect. And that's what makes these stories so powerful, man. And I am super happy and stoked that this is finally coming out and that all of you will be able to get a copy. But also, if friends or family or whichever ever wondered about what it's really like to do your job, you can hand them the book. Now, make sure to tell them about the warning. Don't just flip to a page and say, "Here, read this." Because, these are some hard calls, man. And a lot of times when I would have friends ask me about certain things, James says, and a box of tissues. Yes, definitely. When friends would ask about a call or something, I would say, look, I'll give you the high level explanation, but I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want you to feel what I felt. Like, I'm protecting you. So, yeah, there's a warning in the beginning of the book that about triggers, and some of the stories might not be suitable for all audiences. There are some good calls in there. There's some saves, but the majority are what we deal with. Now, somebody had mentioned last week, I think it was, if there was going to be like an open mic version of the book. And I don't know. Like, I'd have to think about how that would play out. Maybe that would be like a bonus for the Audible book, something like that. I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out. But again, super excited. Links with 2eyes.co/WTT podcast, and you can pre-order, or if you're going to be at the conference, I'm going to have books there and you can purchase there and I'll sign that shit for you. Which is weird to think, or weird to say. I hope that doesn't sound odd. Like, people have been asking, like, are you going to be able to sign it? Like, yeah, of course. I'll definitely sign it. I just as long as it's not weird. I mean, for you or for me, like for me saying it, like I'm not, this isn't a flex. I'm just saying, if that's something that you're down with, like, yeah, I'll sign it. Sure. It'll be awesome. So again, thank you for all of that. Now, we're already coming up in the hour. And I had some funny stuff that I was going to share, and I will. I'm going to share something here really quick, but there's one thing I want to get off my chest really quick. Really quick. But or bring a pen and let a ton of dispatchers sign it. That would be pretty badass too. That would be really cool. Jillian over here says, thank you for giving us a voice. Thank you for trusting me with your stories. All of you with your stories. Thank you for trusting me. Now, what I want to share here really quick. Hear me out. Okay, Kim says, oh, I am definitely going to make it weird. All right, cool. That works. I shared something earlier today, and the only reason I shared it is because this is something that's been plaguing me for a while. And it's something that people deal with, that no matter how much good you're doing, it's never going to be enough for some people. And I just want to share this to let you know that you're not alone. So I'm going to share this real quick, and then we'll go to something funny. But this is what it is right here. And for those on TikTok, you can't see this, but I'm going to read it. And all it says is, not everyone is in your corner. This could also happen to you. Because there's a lot of things that we fear, right? Well, this is one of my real fears. And I say this too after talking about how excited I am for this book, and I am very excited for it, but there's a fear that kind of comes with it because of stuff that's happened to me over these past 10 years. So it says, not everyone is going to be in your corner. This could also happen to you. What do you fear? What is something you fear the most? Me? I fear success. It seems like a weird thing to fear, right? Well, let me enlighten you. The reason I fear success is because every time I do something big or good or new, I lose friends. And this is true. I don't know why. Since going on my own, my inner circle has shrunk. People have turned and burned, and although it sucks, I am happy to see that those were the people who were simply using me or wanted more. And when I slacked on giving them attention, they showed me their true side. I'm sure all of you have had something like this happen. Although I have lost people in this profession, I am blessed with the new and real folks that I have in this profession. To those who have been down since day one and don't expect more or want to take or copy, thank you. To the ones who left, thank you even more. I can breathe now. I can breathe now. You have no idea. But I wanted to share this because no one is untouchable. People go through shit. And not everyone is in your corner, even though they might seem to be at first or seem so close. A lot of times there are some people who are just in it for them, and you find out the hard way. But I forgive you. Even though I just want to say, fuck you. Or ingest a satchel of Richards. But again, I cherish all of those who have been here since the beginning, and all of those who have stayed true and supported, because all I want to do is give back to a profession that I love so much so that people don't have to deal with the bullshit that I dealt with when I was in dispatch. And honestly, it was stuff that I did to myself. And what I mean by doing stuff to myself, that means bearing my calls and not fully reaching out to people because I was scared of what people would think if I asked for help. And when I stopped caring about what people would think, it was therapeutic. It was healing. It was my own form of closure by opening up and sharing, and then others shared, and it continued and continued and continued. And I've never done any of this for money. Others have turned the other way. Sleazy car salesman, whatever. I just want to do good. And I want to surround myself with good people who believe in the same, which is all of you, believing in you and what you do, because it's important. And if I have to continue to fight off trolls and haters, shit, bring it on. Because the I Am 911 movement continues and that thin gold line doesn't break. Better recognize. Oh, shit. I had to lighten that part up there at the end to better recognize. Oh, man. Oh, good times. Good times. Let's see. Joyce says there's always haters. You have to show support for those you care about as much as you can, since 90% of their life and inner voice is something you will never see. No, true. 911 Bowler, what's up, dude? I saw you pop in here as I was talking. What's going on, man? Says, oh my God, so true. Kim, mad facts. Friends for a reason, friends for a season, and friends for a lifetime. Regardless, be thankful for each. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Joyce says accepting people where they are is friendship. Best friends might not talk all the time, but they can pick up right where you were when something is needed. Very true. Jillian says, I wear my bracelet daily and love my Texas shirt. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Anybody else? Texas represent. And we're going to be going to Texas soon. And as they say, don't mess with Texas. I'm going to be there. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Sabrina says, thank you for letting us have a voice. You have given me a voice at the virtual within the trenches that I presented at, giving me confidence to present at national conferences and telling my story on podcast. Thank you, Sabrina, for everything. And Sabrina is doing some awesome shit too. Make sure to check her out. James says, New Jersey, Nina, November 14th, 15th, 16th. Come for the conference. Stay for the pizza. Yeah. Dude, it was a good conference. That was a good ass pizza too. Nyman Bowler says, can't wait for Texas. Lavelle says, yes, got mine. Awesome. All right. I know we are over the hour, but I want to share this because I saw this. A friend on Facebook had posted this and it was hilarious, or at least hilarious to me. And I hope it's funny to you too. So here we go. Let me put this up here. And also, I had to look up this city to make sure that it was something real. And it is real. We'll get into it here. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Boom. All right. So there is a city in South Carolina. It's called Effingham, but there is an unofficial page on Facebook called Effing, South Carolina. And the page on Facebook, I'm gonna share it here in the comments. Over here on TikTok, I don't have a way to share the link, but it's facebook.com/effing_SC. Okay. And the cover photo says, welcome to effing South Carolina. Ye in the streets, haw in the sheets. That is hilarious right there. Super hilarious. Yes, James says, dude, is that a tiger? Okay, so over here on TikTok, it's a picture of what looks like maybe a cruiser, and in the front yard is a tiger. It looks like a tiger. So what the post says is effing public safety. I'm such a child. I mean, that's funny as it is. Effing public safety has responded to numerous calls about a tiger loose in the Morningwood subdivision. That part, I don't know if it's true. If the subdivision actually called Morningwood. This is what I get for not reading this right away. I didn't notice that it said Morningwood. Okay, let me start again. So, effing public safety has responded to numerous calls about a tiger loose in the Morningwood subdivision. This is neighbor Alan Fielding's dog Roscoe. So they're saying this is a dog. All right. This guy's dog is named Roscoe. So it says dog Roscoe that he striped to keep his ex and in-laws away from his cookout. Roscoe is friendly and no danger to the effing community. So the friend that I ended up getting this from, so she posted, and I'm gonna have to send her a message to tell her, like, I read this off of your Facebook page. This was yesterday that she had posted this, but she goes, "Oh, this is gold," and it had like traffic on there. I don't know if she made this up or she found this somewhere, but this is what it says: "Effing 911, what's your emergency? There's an effing tiger in my effing front lawn. Sir, remain calm. We have the effing police and effing animal control en route. Please remain indoors for your effing safety." Y'all need to hurry up before this effing tiger kills someone or vice versa. This is effing ridiculous. I bet it's that effing zoo's fault. Yep. So again, I don't know if my friend had actually like read this somewhere or just like made it up. Either way, as she said, it is gold. That shit is funny. Love that. Love that. Love that. But I had to look it up I looked up and people have looked this up already too, because when I started typing, it auto-populated on Google right away. So it the question is effing South Carolina a real place? And what's highlighted is Effingham. Effingham is an unincorporated community in Florence County, South Carolina. Yeah, dude. So there you go. It's a real place. But also, apparently, some people like just looking at this here, June 28th of 2021. It looks like somebody was looking up a church in effing South Carolina because the church's name it was the Crystal Methodist Church. And so it's an article in USA Today, and it says no evidence of church or it says or town exist, but it's Effingham, it's not effing. But there was something there that said that where they were looking for a Crystal Methodist Church. What? This is crazy, but funny, super funny. But yeah, like James was saying, okay, hold on, where is it here? I think it was James. Did you say it? Oh yeah, right there. No way a golden retriever is masquerading as a tiger. For real, dude. Like that's a straight up tiger. Like that's not a dog. There's no way. Oh, Kim says, "Oh damn, it gets better." Yeah. Yeah, in effing South Carolina, apparently people were looking for a Crystal Methodist church. But according to USA Today, from a couple years ago, it doesn't exist. But apparently there's pictures of it. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's even on Snopes. That is crazy. But yes, Kim, I'm with you. Bucket list for a city to go to. One of the cities that I would like to go to, which is actually in Michigan, is Hell, Michigan. I'm serious. There's a real city in Michigan called Hell. If you look it up, there are Google images of the city sign with like ice on it because it's Michigan. It snows. So people are like, "Oh, hell froze over," because it's Hell, Michigan. Oh man. See, I bet you guys didn't know that you were going to be getting this. Okay. So one last one. Okay, let's do it. One last one. Oh wait, Kim says, "Oh my Lanta." I love that. Road trip. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Um so one last thing. This was on New York Post and it says weird but true. This is from like pandemic time when this happened. And it says man sentenced after police find loaded gun in his buttocks during a strip search. What? Okay, so it says a Louisiana man chose the cheekiest of places. Ah, it seriously says that. It really does say that. I shit you not. It says that. Chose the cheekiest of places when he needed to find a quick hiding spot for his gun. It says a 24-year-old pleaded guilty Friday to weapons charges after police in the town of Golden Meadow, who were arresting him late last year on a separate matter, discovered he had stashed a loaded 25 caliber Titan pistol. Okay, it says the name is Titan, so that just sounds Titan pistol in his ass is what it's saying. Police had taken this person into custody. Now, again, this was a while back after they responded to suspicious activity in a home he was occupying with a female acquaintance. And it says cops says that they discovered that the person possessed a handgun. What? A handgun, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia during an initial search. Dude. says multiple other firearms were discovered. What? Oh, in his truck. Wait a minute. Is that a metaphor? No, hold on. In his truck at the scene. Okay. It says, but the 24-year-old was being strip searched after his arrest. Police reportedly found the additional surprised weapon, wah, wah, concealed in his rear end. Dun, 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 dun. It says that the pistol is more than 4 inches long with a 2.5-inch barrel. Whoa. 24-year-old was sentenced to a 5-year suspended prison sentence during a district court appearance. He received 3 years probation and an order to serve 90 days in the jail. And it says, as part of the terms of his probation, he's barred from owning or possessing firearms, visiting bars or lounges, or indulging in excessive use of alcohol or illegal drugs. Wow. This is why 911 will never go down. Job security. I'll just leave it at that. Oh, man. What the hell? All right. Well, that's it for today, my friends. That is Open Mic Live. Really quick, what are your numbers at now? Oh, wait. Kim says Broski should apply with the circus, right? Yeah, for sure. I am well above a 10. I hope your numbers went up as well. Even if your numbers stayed the same, it's okay because you were here with all of us sharing these stories and just being here to support each other. So thank you, all of you, for what you do and for being here with me. I came in at a 0, but I appreciate that 10 because that's where I'm at now. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. And if you're going to be at the conference, I will see you soon. And I will also see you next week during the regular time on Saturday. James says I'm a 9. That was a great episode. Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being here and everything that you do. Joy says, I hope you feel loved and supported. I definitely do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the flagship show, you can email us, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter. You can like us on Facebook. You can become a Facebook subscriber of the podcast or a patron of the podcast, and that's for bonus content, all that good stuff. You can find that at links.co. That's links with 2 i's.co/WTT podcast. You'll find everything on there. How to get a hold of me, become a subscriber, pre-order the book, podcast merch, all of that good stuff. And if you are waiting for merchandise, I'm going to be sending stuff out tomorrow. Thank you for your patience. It has been a crazy couple of weeks. It's been honestly a tough time, especially today. But I thank you all very much for everything. This episode, as always, is supported by and sponsored by Indigital Leader Next Gen Core Services. Big shout out to patrons as well as Facebook subscribers. And then this can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, as well as TikTok. And the flagship show, you can listen 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone, and we will see you in the next one.